What is up, guys? Andy here. Welcome to Marijuana Essay Weekly, episode 63, I believe. Today we are unfortunately having a bit of a morose and melancholic episode. We've been hit with some of the worst news that's maybe ever come across the cannabis industry in South Africa. It was an incident that happened early this morning at 2 a.m. and unfortunately Jules from the Dhaka couple passed this morning, and it sent shockwaves through the community. So tonight we thought we would just spend the episode explaining a little bit about what the DC has done for us, for the industry, for where everyone is today, and sort of in the nicest way we can pay a bit of tribute to what we can. You know, it'll never be summated how much their influence has and on our lives. But yeah, we feel it's the right thing to do. Yeah, it's been a terrible day. Dean, yeah, I'm sure you can also relate.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I've been following Jules and Myrtle for the last 10 years, sort of as long as I've been involved in growing weed. I got in sort of in 2011, I did a speech on at Toastmasters in high school, and sort of came across them, and, you know, obviously we've got to know them over the past year, you know, 2 years being involved in Marijuana Essay. And yeah, for me it's personally a massive fucking devastation, and, you know, for I'm sure the family and everyone involved, and just for the whole community. I mean, he was the nicest, most respectful person in the world, and you know, the amazing speech giver, which is you know, something that's a massive skill, and just an all-around awesome person. And I just can't believe that this is the episode that we're talking about today. I've been literally super bleak today. Didn't really get much done. And yeah, I just don't really know what to say.
It's something that, I mean, in a million years I would have never ever imagined something like this happening. I mean, it was just 2 weeks ago when Myrtle was explaining the petition that they've been rallying for, and Jules like came in the background, and it's like, yeah, I never thought, you know. But that's the thing. It's South Africa has a problem with crime. I know you guys watching on the YouTube is 20 or 30% of you or so is out of this country. South Africa has about 60 or so murders a day.
And like 70% unemployment, and the joblessness is at the highest it's ever been in 10 years in South Africa, you know. So there's this massive deficit between the middle class and a huge sort of lower income level, or no jobs at all. And, you know, there's ferocious crime, and sort of, you know, some of us live like quite maybe a first world kind of lifestyle that you don't really see it, but, you know, it's there all around us, and it's definitely something that needs to, you know, that it's an issue that South Africa deals with.
Yeah, and this is exactly where you see the crux of the problem. I mean, it's I must say, I personally have become desensitized to incidents happening, and until it hits home, until it comes back, and it's someone you know, or it's, you know, someone you've loved and admired, or a hero, and then it strikes you at home again. It's like, this is the reality of the country that we're living in, and the disparity that we face.
And I think quickly
on a day-to-day basis,
things can change, you know, in the country, and just in specific life. You know, every day can't take anything for granted. You have someone who literally spearheaded an industry, supporting an inclusive industry for everyone, to bring money to people who actually need it, and then, you know, to be hit with something like this, it's insane.
Yeah, no, it's not been a terrible day for the community. I mean, for those that don't know, Jules is part of the Dhaka couple. him and Myrtle have they've basically been leading the force of change through cannabis and revolutionizing the industry and actually bringing legislation to the government. I mean, as qualified people, they were petitioning and they were speaking in Parliament and they were explaining to the government from a cannabis user's perspective why we want the rules and the freedoms that we ask for. And without the effort that they've put in, the time, the years of dedication, the literally every earth blood drop in their soul was dedicated to cannabis, we wouldn't be making this podcast. Full stop.
I mean,
most of the industry.
Jules' Hotbox show was what inspired us to get, well, among other reasons, inspired us to start MSA Weekly. And, like I said, I followed him for many years. We got in the business because of work done directly by them. So for the industry as a whole, I think we've lost the ultimate legend, one of the ultimate legends in South Africa.
It's a massive fallout. It's shit. It's shitty for everyone, for the family. It's super shit. It's not something I would wish upon anyone. It's not something I would have liked to have ever seen happen. And yeah, from the family, I mean, there's not a lot of information out there. If you are watching, guys, and you do know sort of the backstory or the whatever, there's no story. That's the thing. They've asked everyone not to speculate on what's happened. They've asked everyone just to respect the family's privacy at the moment. I saw an article 20 minutes ago. It's already featured in News 24. The Guardian, Mail. It's getting out there, and obviously they're probably at the farm now with reporters there trying to get a story, phoning, trying to find out what happened. And this is probably the most devastating time for Myrtle and her family. And I think they should, as much as possible, just wait for information. If they want to put information out, they will.
And I mean, they did release a statement today, and I'm sure as more information, this is a terrible time for a family. There's nothing worse than having people sort of coming up in your face, trying to get in your business, just trying to find out information. It doesn't matter to you if you've been involved in a situation like this. You have to process. It's traumatizing. There's everything around it, so yeah, everyone must respect the privacy. I've seen massive amounts of love on social media, awesome pictures being posted all day, from even I saw on Strain Hunters, Orion Strain Hunter posting about it. So it just shows the impact that has been made, and just how much this shakes, has shook the South African industry. I don't think there's been a more depressing day in the ganja fight in the last sort of few years than this.
Yeah, no, it's even doing this episode, I just feel life sucked.
I mean, Jules was literally like my hero. So today I've fucking been just it's hard to even comprehend something like this.
No.
So let's take a moment of silence on the podcast, of talking, just to appreciate. And I mean, personally, I've lost people in my life before, and this felt like really losing someone that you've looked up to a lot, and we actually got to meet and spend time and have him on our show and build a relationship. And just as you're getting to that point, I don't even know what to say anymore about South Africa. I've always been the most confident, and it's just it just constantly makes me more bleak, just what goes on in this country. I just don't understand.
Yeah, what makes it so bad is the whole savagery behind it. And I'm sorry, but this is where I switch from being sad to being fucking furious, because it's not okay. Like, how can you just take a life? How can you do that for 2 cell phones and 2 laptops? Like, what goes through your head as a human being to even contemplate that? And how badly is the country failing us that people have to go do this, as opposed to getting, they can't find work. They're going out. They need to rob. They need to pillage, take.
And then you have such a corrupt government that will ban cigarettes and cost jobs, and ban alcohol and make multiple industries close down. And I know there's obviously health benefits and whatever around it, but a government that's so corrupt that only wants to line their own pockets and overlooks this just massive. We're at the worst. We're in a recession. Joblessness is the worst in the last 10 years. This is a hard time for South Africa, and there's just no fucks given by the people at the top. They just don't care. They don't listen. They carry on. The same shit keeps happening over and over. And it just when does something like this stop? When does South Africa turn around? When does South Africa stand up to the authority?
It's the same as I was saying earlier. You and I, we 100% are desensitized to murders. I mean, we hear about it every day.
And in some overseas countries, you'll hear about one murder in the country, and it shakes the country. Whereas in South Africa, there's no murders going down. It's not a day.
That's the thing. It's literally it's if there isn't a murder or a rape going down, it's not. Something's up. There's national lockdown. Then maybe they can calm it down
or brag about their reduced crime stats, when in actual fact it's just because this country is violent, and it's so sad to. I mean, I love South Africa. I've always been the biggest supporter of South Africa. I've always thought South Africa has the most potential, and it's just so sad to be in a country and to be where it's just things like this are normal, where it's just you live in such a violent culture, and it's just normalized, and it's just something you carry on with your life about. But it's not normal.
No, it's absolutely fucking horrific. And that is, it could have been any of it's someone that was part of the industry. It could have been a team member. It could have been these things happen, and you end up calling your family and friends and just saying, how much they mean to you, and it's never fun to have to deal with and think about, and the families and the turmoil that's left behind. And I don't even want to think about their podcast, and it's
I mean, I love the Hot Box show, and just thinking next week that Jules isn't going to be on there is just so sad, and you never get to get him on our show again. Go to the jazz farm, see him.
The News 24 article brought up again how obviously the Hot Box show it's aired every Thursday night, and this incident happened Friday morning in the AM. So it was 3 hours after they finished their Hot Box show. Had everyone around at the farm. It's unbelievable that they were 1 minute live streaming on air, and next minute being robbed in their own home, going through the worst thing that they've ever going to have to go through. And the industry's absolutely shook.
It's definitely a sad day for South Africa, and a sad day for the cannabis industry in South Africa. But I hope that the industry continues to rally together and show the same kind of support that they've been showing. The Fields of Green and the Dachar couple was Myrtle and Jules's life work, and they've been asking for rallying support recently, and have received a huge amount of support. So I hope to see it continued. There's an industry here that needs to protect each other and to pull together so that we can all build an awesome green South Africa.
Yeah, please guys, if there's one thing that we can do to make a difference, is stay a decent community. Keep leading, keep destroying the stereotypes that they put on this industry. Keep day by day breaking it down, showing kindness and not fighting battles. Just be kind. Show everyone that cannabis is not the devil's lettuce and the devil's reefer. It's
reefer madness.
Reefer madness. Just go, guys. Just enough is enough. Let's stick together. Stay strong within the community, and you guys have us, and we are so lucky to have the guys watching this, to have you guys at home, and to be part of such a close-knit community. It means the world to us. And please guys, keep sending your love to the Fields of Green and the Dachar couple, if it's even a post or a message or just something. That's all we can do at the moment, and that's sort of where we have to. That's what we can do.
Yeah, this was a hard show. I'm gonna smoke a bong for Jules and call it.
Yeah, guys. I think the JCC as well did a really cool thing today. They had a beach meetup at 4:20 today, out in Cape Town. I hope that was. I can only imagine it was beautiful. And there's a bunch of people all around the country, probably all around the world, that are organizing memorials and vigils and whatever you want to call it. But yeah, moments of silence across the world today, and across the cannabis community in South Africa. And yeah, sorry that it was such a morose and somber episode, but we just feel like we had to speak about this, and we had to bring it to the attention, and we had to speak about it.
Yeah, a legend is gone, and we have the most respect for you, Jules, and for everything that you've done for this country.
Yeah, thank you, Jules.